Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. As expected, when people get desperate, they make mistakes and they become very obvious. You just have to pay attention. You have to pay attention and observe the, the signs that are given to us. Now, the signs are veiled or simply in your face. And what am I talking about? I'm talking about the FBI, CIA, NSA, these that I consider them to be state inside the state, which are supposed to answer to certain kind of entities. They're not on their own, if you know what I mean. But when they are asked to provide, let's say, some information, they sometimes, according to depending on who's asking, they will decline. And they will use these words. I've seen this many, many times before. I suggest you pay attention to this. When you see, for instance, a head of FBI, director of FBI or CIA, coming in front of a panel, I don't know, senators or House or whatever, committee, they show up over there and they are asked for documents or some statistics or some evidence. Because let's say the director of CIA says, okay, I think that this guy did this. And then he's asked by one of the senators, of the representatives, okay, can you provide us the documents and all that? I request that, I do this, that. You know what the answer is from these guys? Well, I can't give you that. Now I understand there's some legal limitations and it's certain kind of step, but from my experience, and I urge you to watch when I say, I can provide you that. And they're going to say, that's confidential information, that is top secret, and there are documents that I can't share with you due to an ongoing investigation. They would use this kind of thing. So that means they can show up, make claims. Oh, that guy is a criminal. And we say, okay, where's your evidence? I can't provide you with the evidence. You have to believe me because I'm FBI or I'm CIA. Well, that's why probably I should not trust you. So give me the evidence. And I say, no, you can't. I can't. I have to protect the identities. But I ask you, it's going to be everything confidential. No, I can't give you that. So they refuse to provide that. We have a problem here, which I knew we were going to get to this. I'm glad that these guys, like in volleyball, got the ball up and you're ready to smash it, or spike it. So this is what's going on here. If you remember yesterday, an oversight committee came, the head of the House Oversight Committee came and said, you know what, we have evidence that, or maybe allegations that Biden family, did some hanky-panky transactions, businesses with a Romanian oligarch, corrupted, arrested, and so on, and with some Chinese and all that. And we think that also, I think CIA, FBI are also, FBI is also implicated. And I would like to, request certain kind of documents from you guys. And FBI says, no, we're not going to give you shit. Now, I don't know exactly the procedure here, who can have what, but from what I know, if an elected official tells a little weasel that was appointed to give that information to them during an investigation, I think they can have all the power. But I've seen this before, then FBI and CIA said, no, we're not going to give you anything. There's many instances online. You can watch some YouTube videos on camera. No, I can't give you that. But I said, yeah, but I tell you that you're supposed to. No. And they give you this confidentiality and bullshit. Remember, confidentiality goes out the window if a judge orders you. Okay, so let's say I'm investigating something. I have I go in front of a judge, for whatever reason, not as I'm just an investigator. Let's put it this way. So I'm put on a stand and I'm asked a question, and someone asked me for names, and I can't disclose the names because it's confidential. I can only disclose it if the judge orders me. If the judge says, yes, Mr. Kosman, you can disclose that information, you can answer that, and then I can do that so there's always the confidentiality goes out the window if a judge and many others are going to say yes. It's just a matter of will. Oh, no, the reporting source, we can never find out. Yeah, you can find out the reporting source's name. If you get that hanky-panky, why? Because if you really want to know, the Constitution says, I have the right to face my accuser. That means I face it. I have to know who that person is. I have to face it. Face that person. So what happened here? This is just a symptom. I want you to pay more attention to this. I have two articles, one from NBC News and the other one from Russia Today, and I would like you to pay attention to the semantics. FBI declines, that's one of the words I would like you to remember, to provide House chairman with document he claims will implicate Biden in criminal scheme. Well, I would like to know the truth, you know what I mean? But you say no. So declines. Let's see what the Russians say. FBI refuses. So which one is stronger? Decline or refuse? I think refuse is stronger. But anyway, let's go to the first liars here. Okay. House Oversight Committee Chairman James Comer, Republican from Kentucky Reign, had issued a subpoena for access to sensitive law enforcement materials. Subpoena. All right. That means you have to do it. Otherwise, he can't send it. Can he? Anyway, and sensitive law enforcement, sensitive. So these guys are already on this guy's side. Sensitive. Oh, sensitive. They could have just leave it outside, but they didn't. They show it like, so that's why FBI declined, because it's sensitive. Okay. All right. The FBI on Wednesday rejected a request from House Oversight Committee Chairman James Comer to provide access to sensitive law enforcement materials. You can't have that. That some congressional Republicans insist will reveal criminal activity involving Joe Biden from where he was vice president. So this guy said Comer and another guy, Chuck Grassley, a Republican of Iowa, had initially requested the materials in a letter on May 3rd, it's May 11th, to the FBI, citing that they called, and I'm quoting, highly credible unclassified whistleblower disclosures about an unclassified document. Unclassified, you see that is not classified, unclassified. All right, document detailing an alleged crime scheme involving then Vice President Biden and a foreign national relating to the exchange of money for policy decisions. End quote. In his subpoena, Comer demanded that the FBI produce what are known as FD-1023 forms, records of interactions with confidential sources, created or modified in June 2020, including the word Biden, along with any accompanying attachment or other documents. The FBI responded in a letter Wednesday with Christopher Dunham, the acting assistant director for congressional affairs, saying that while the FBI was committed, this bullshit talk, to, and I'm quoting, beginning the constitutionally mandated accommodation process. So he says, we want to do it because we have to. Under the Constitution, we have to do this. It was also bound by Justice Department policy. Policy does not invalidate the Constitution. So the Constitution is on top of the policy. But anyway, you see how this works? Which, and I'm quoting, strictly limits when and how confidential human sources information can be provided outside of the FBI. That means we're going to take care of this. We're going to keep it for safe keeping and doing nothing. Well, we already know that you are not delivering it. If you would have had an investigation, we would have heard about it, and you didn't open it. So keep it there, sit on it, stick it in your ass, and remember, the policy of the Justice Department does not overpass the constitutionally mandated accommodation process. Anyway, often, even confirming the fact of the existence or non-existence of an investigation or a particular piece of investigative information can risk these serious harms. What I told you, this is the FBI. So even confirming, so no, you can't do that because it's confidential information and risks harms. You can redact a lot of shit. You know what I mean? You can give it redacted, but leave Biden on. Adding that it was standard practice for law enforcement agencies to decline to confirm or deny such facts. Yes, and if a judge orders you, you provide all these fucking facts. Anyway, and Comer blasted the FBI's response, and I'm quoting, it's clear from the FBI's response that the unclassified record that Oversight Committee subpoenaed exists, but they are refusing to provide it to the committee, he said in a statement. And I'm quoting again, we've asked the FBI to not only provide this record, but to also inform us what it did not investigate these allegations. Probably why it did not investigate these allegations. The FBI has failed to do both. They're orders, my man. They're men. And Grassley, meanwhile, insisted that the FBI's offer to provide an accommodation process in response to our legitimate request indicates the document is real. Anyway, documenting the information does not validate it, establish credibility, or blah, 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 blah. So, my friends, let's go to the Russians and see what they say here, because they're going to be more acid here. The FBI refused the House panel request for a document that allegedly details President Joe Biden. So we got already that. We got this cover right here, and I'm quoting, the FBI's position is trust, but you aren't allowed to verify. That's very nice put. That's exactly what I've been saying. I have to memorize this. Trust, but you aren't allowed to verify. Yeah, your mom is a criminal, and I don't have to provide you with the evidence, but you have to trust me. This is unacceptable. We plan to follow up with the FBI and expect compliance with the subpoena. End quote. So, again, harm investigations, prejudice, prosecutions or judicial proceedings unfair, violate privacy or reputational interest, or create misinterpretations in the public. So the FBI actually could not provide a document because they are protecting us and protecting all these guys. Yes, Christ. So here it is. My point here is not to show that it's the what the process is. It's just the fact that these guys refuse to provide that information because they don't want to, and they're going to use any kind of, hey, it's confidential, not confidential, classified, not classified, investigation is going on, we can't do this, we're going to protect this, we're going to protect that, we can't do it. Why didn't you start an investigation then? If it's that important, why is no investigation over there? Why do you sit on it? Well, we know why. Or we know. We don't know why, but we can just only assume, which doesn't mean an assumption is a fact. But still, when a police officer stops you when you drive a car and say, well, can I search your car? I have the permission. And you can say, well, no. He said, why? Do you have anything to hide? You seem suspicious. If you don't have anything to hide, this is their wordage. If you don't have anything to hide, why not? That gives me, reasons to believe that you have something to hide. You can say, well, I enjoy my privacy. I don't, blah, 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 blah. But that's the way it works over there. But here, no. If you don't allow me to see that document, it raises suspicions, no? Well, remember, maybe you don't remember, but I mentioned it only 1 or 2 times. Here in the United States of America, when I went here to the university, I had a sociology professor. And, I was talking about the law enforcement, doing this, doing that. And I was about, to make a study, on, the police enforcement, how should I put it, hypocrisy. You should do this, but I'm not doing this and all that. And I said, I'm going to make this study. I'm going to be an active study. I'm going to be in the street. I'm going to observe. I'm going to make it. And I said, what are you going to do with it? And I said, well, I'm going to do it. I'm going to send it to the higher levels of command and all that. And I will do it. I will send it to the mass media. And maybe, someone's going to pick it up. And he said, well, you can try that. But he said, 2 things. 1, you probably will be stopped with your car more often. And the second one, Emil, you can't do anything. I said, why? They have the guns. Oh, okay. So first, they will retaliate, because that's how life is. It's not like, oh yeah, we made a mistake, we're going to reprimand that and we're going to change the policy. No. No, we're going to argue you up. That's what we're going to do. How? Stop you more often by your license plate, obviously. Oh, you think it works that way? Well, it does. It does. I don't know how often, because I didn't make a study yet, but anyway. And the other one, they got the guns. Yeah, go and arrest them. Do something to FBI. How are we going to do something to FBI? Look what Trump, the President of the United States of America, tried to do. Remember with Peter Strzok and all those guys? What happened? They got their pension out and all that. Trump was out. Everything came back in. So yeah, forget about this the rule of law and all this BS. Anyway, my friends, so I'm glad that these guys showed this little between the House Oversight Committee and the FBI. It happens all the time, all the time. When these guys are telling something, how is that? Believe us, don't ask for justification. We just tell you how it is. What was that expression that I really liked? I have to memorize it. I see I already forgotten it. I will find it probably after I close this, because I don't want to keep you here. But anyway, no, I don't find it. I will find it later. But it was very interesting. Something like, trust us and don't verify. Just believe us or something like that. So just pay attention for this before, because these guys are state in state. That means they don't answer to anybody. How can you reprimand them? Who gives the order to whom? They're going to defend their little caste over there. The same with CIA, NSA, FBI, military industrial complex, which I'm just getting the military. How can you go and arrest them? They got the guns. Some people with guns need to come and get the guys with more guns. Who's going to be that? The police officers of a little department or something? That's going to go and arrest, call me? Or is going to, Millie or whatever, Austin, or really? Or who? Do you think within? You got to be kidding me. Well, if you really believe that's the way it works and that's the way the world really is, then yes, okay, it works just like that. But you're going to go around the block. Don't even have to go one time to figure out that things are not really working like that. Always they're going to find, little like this, and some people got real bad and they get promoted or get transferred to something even better. Haven't you seen these things before? Well, go around the block at time and observations, and maybe sometimes you don't see it. Sometimes doesn't happen to you. But if it says happen to you, you will never forget it. I hope it doesn't. I hope we learn by observing, and I hope we don't have to learn these kind of things. I hope they don't occur, but they do. Among them, not among us. We're just little weasels, but we're humans. We have the same tendencies. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.